And welcome to Better You in 52. If you're coming back, thank you for coming in for whatever week you've come through. This is week 10 of our assessments here. If you're new to us, thank you for stopping by. We're not sure how you found us, but let us know in the comments here in the video or on the website if that's where you were led to us to find this video. Now, what is Better You in 52 and betteryouin52.com? The website is the support system for the support system that is us at Better You in 52. What we provide at that is not so much a service, but a safe place to land, a safe place to fall, if you will, for anybody who is looking to grow in the world of personal development for themselves. Not people who are trying to be gurus, not people trying to teach other folks, but this is just people who just need someone to shut off, just talk back and forth to in their realm of trying to get better, because that's what everyone attached to this is trying to do, just basically get better. This is a free service and will always be a free service here. There are other products and other places where I provide paid coaching and paid training, things like that. But this right here is meant to be an always free service for anyone looking for a better improvement. And like we like to say for this one here, in general, mainly, but for this one specifically here, the moment you say, I want to be better, you are better. You gain that knowledge and you've gone to a new realm of being a brand new you. Now, how do you make that brand new you? Well, we like to think in about a year's time, 52 weeks, you have enough time to work on something every single week to try to work on improvement. 52 different steps of improvement. This is not a 52-week step improvement program, but every week we offer up a little something that you can do to add to your repertoire to think about in working towards your better you. You can take our advice, you can not take our advice. You can take our advice whenever you want to. And like I said, the main purpose of the creation of Better You in 52 is a place to hang, a place to be around. We're going to work on having a official place to hang. That may cost a little money, but we're trying to make that sure that's done as efficiently, as effectively, and of course, as inexpensively as possible. Hopefully, not costing you much of anything, but I've got to make sure that it's on there. So it may take a little bit to keep it going. Stop by betteryouin52.com for more details about all that stuff. Right now, let's talk about the week 10 assessment, which is doing a financial assessment, period. So this is a twofold thing. This is literally taking care of your finances. Well, let's call it a threefold thing. Taking care of your finances for your improvement, as in, I want to be a better blah, blah, blah. This thing might cost me something. How do I actually pay for it? Also, just in general life thing, I need to be a better person. I need to take control of my finances. How do I take control of my finances? And then there's the metaphorical sort of thought process in this, where it is about investments, and time is investment, and energy is investment, and people that have to invest in you. And so is the investment part there, the non-financial part, although sometimes it can't be partly of your financials. Is the investment worth the effort? Is the effort, what you're going to get out of it, worth what goes into it? Is it worth being the new you? Does being a new you mean literally leaving all of your friends and picking up your tent and moving away to another city, another state, another country? Can you do that? Is it worth that? Is it all said and done? Is that the main goal? What's going on? And you may find out that the new you that you're looking for doesn't need as much financial moves or moves at all. It may need something a bit more simple and just honestly some conversations. It's not so much that you need to change or that other people around you need to change or go away. You just need some clarity. You just need to know that the people around you understand what's going on, because what's going to be a common theme in some of these things going on, it's a very common theme in personal development. A lot of it is used to kind of suck you into buying more stuff from people, is that the people around you, as you are changing and not really explaining why you're changing, or sometimes explaining it too well why you're changing, it brings up the thought processes around other people that they're not as good, or they're not very good, or they're pretty terrible. And people don't want to feel terrible. And if you're trying to go to the gym to get in better shape and they're eating chili dogs all day long, I love me some chili dogs, trust me, and they have no desire to get in better shape, then that's fine for them. But if they see you doing better, it makes them wonder if what they're doing is not so fine. So, what you're going to find when you start looking at your finances, start looking at money, especially people start noticing that you are not spending on the same things they're spending, the junk, the toys, the candy, the booze, the partying, the whatever, and spending more things on things they're not spending on, the gym, new clothes, working on new gear, trying to take new classes. That's where things get a little weird. This is one of the more obvious ways where people see that you're doing something. So you need to make sure your financial assessments work for you, and you need to make sense sure that as you do them, it's really really worth it, because the personalities around you will change as the finance talk changes in your life, or not changes. Basically, you talk less about money because maybe you're managing it more, you're spending less of it, or maybe you're spending more of it. It all depends. But first, it comes down to making sure you know, what does it cost. When we're talking specifically for the personal development things that you're going into, what will it cost you the investment in to make this thing work? You want to be in better shape. You start off by getting a gym membership. What does that cost? Getting a book from this library, that costs time, no money. Getting a book from the bookstore, that costs money plus some time. Getting some gear, some weights, some bands, getting some decent workout clothes, getting super expensive workout clothes, which usually aren't worth it because they wear out just as well as the bad cheap stuff and cost more to actually replace. Or maybe see it vice versa. The cheap stuff is like so tacky and the good stuff looks so great and you look so great in it and you're motivated to do that, then there it goes. What is the investment in what it's going to take to get better? If you want to learn more, do you need to go to a 2 year, 4 year college? Do you need to go to a graduate school? Can you just take some classes online? Can you get one of those books from the library? Can you Google it on the internet? Can you pay for a course there? What does it cost to be better? What does it cost to improve? What does it cost to put more into it? Now, for the financial sake, that's really what it is going on. What does it cost to keep doing or not do that thing you're doing? Smoking. What does it cost you to buy cigarettes? What do you get if you stop doing it? What does it cost you to eat out as often as you do? Why are you doing it? Do you want to do less of it? Do you want to do more of it? Is the thing you're going to do, your lifestyle change, going to make it less convenient to eat at home? Sometimes life's like that. What does it cost to buy a meal plan that sends you the meals ready to go that you pop in the microwave? What does it cost to go to the grocery store and buy a bunch of frozen dinners or some quick made meals for the day? What will it cost you in your relationships when your kids realize they're eating more pizza pies from the pizzeria as opposed to mom putting out frozen pizzas? What they cost when they realize they're eating less chicken nuggets and more vegetables because you're making more vegetables because you want to eat more better, eat more better, eat better. And so you're taking on the cost of fresh foods and the time it takes to prepare those. And everyone else is wondering why we're not eating pizza and chicken nuggets and mac and cheese. What does it cost to do this? What does it cost to put into this? What does it cost to change? Or what will it cost you to not change? If you don't quit smoking, how many years do you think it's take off your life? If you don't stop hanging out with those guys, how much money cannot be put into your savings account, your retirement account, your kids' college fund because you're spending it playing ball and playing pool and drinking or whatever? What does it cost you? What is the investment that it takes or that you're missing out on in the process? The non-investment, if you will. What can you not invest because you're investing in something else? This is a serious question for all cases, especially in the metaphysical mind sense, because the time you invest in people is never coming back. You can make money back, you can get lucky and have money come back, but time is never coming back. In relationships, as sometimes as important as they are, some of them aren't quite as important as you think they are in your progression. So take care of that. What does it pay out? What is the dividend of your work? Simple. If you go to now I go to a machine, I don't go to a teller window. I go to a machine, put in $1, press a button, and get a lottery ticket. What is the payout of that ticket? Since the odds are like 6 figures to 1 that you win anything, it's literally nothing. So when I go to put in a couple dollars and get a lottery ticket, and I always get the mega millions and not the scratch offs, when I go to get the lottery ticket, I'm assuming I'm not going to win. It's a long shot bid and something that, like you said, someone's going to win, but it's not going to be you and it's not going to be me. That's just the thing. Someone will win eventually, but not us. But when I go to my Robinhood account which may as well be the lottery at this point, may as well be gambling the way the stock market is going in real time. And I pay, whatever for some stocks, $10, $20, $50 for some set of stocks. What's it going to pay me out? Number one, it's going to hopefully increase in value so that that $10 of stock will be worth 12, 14, 20, something like that. And I always look for little stocks that pay me a dividend. So when I invest so much into a stock, at certain parts of times, the companies decide, since I own so much of the stock, they'll pay me so many dollars per share. And so if they're going to pay me a dividend, that's what I'm getting out of that. And personally, I reinvest it so next time I get more shares. That's my way of working the stock market. It's boring, it's dull, but it's like that. But what does your investment going to pay out for you? What does going to the gym pay out to you if you actually go to the gym? What does eating healthier pay out for you if you actually stick to the diet? What does stopping the smoking do for you if you actually stop smoking? What will what you put into it pay out in the end? The dividend is what you're looking for. Maybe it's interest if it's some sort of investment interest, an investment case. Maybe it's literally doubling your money because it is gambling, because it is. But the dividends you get from your relationships and your time spent as well, because as we say, time is not a renewable resource. You can't get it back, makes a difference as well. One thing I found in my advancing years, if you will, is that I become less reluctant. And this is something that's maybe a personal failing, but it is who I am honestly am. I become less giving in time to random strangers who've not been don't know, who have not been vetted by time or other people who need things, because I work in a industry, I work in a grouping where there's a lot of folks showing up who are asking questions and in need of something, and it's usually my job to find a way to fix it. So when a random person who's like seriously in need of something comes to me with something, I'm extremely hesitant in giving these days. And it's because I don't have a lot of time to give, don't have a lot of extra cash to give, and especially if it's a work thing, I'm seemingly always behind. So I don't have a lot of extra on the clock time. I'm always on the clock to give to someone with a small, random, simple, easy problem they could fix if they Googled it, or they kind of spend a little time just staring at themselves in the mirror and realizing, oh, I can do this. So the dividends for helping random people don't really pay out well for me, so I don't do it. Like I said, maybe a personal failing, but it is who I am at this moment. The dividends for helping out my boss, helping out my neighbor, helping out people who live in my general community, larger scale, helping out a friend, even if it's a longtime friend or a friend of a friend that's just a rare acquaintance, but they have been vetted. It usually pays out in something. It's if not just in general goodwill, sometimes in karma. I kind of believe in karma. You got to do some good things for some people if you expect anybody to do any good thing for you. Think about what your payout's going to be, what the dividend is from your actual investment, whether it's a fiscal investment or a physical time-wise investment, or just just literally a wad of cash that falls into your lap that you decide to put into the bank for whatever interest rate. What are you getting out of it? And could you do better by doing something else with it? Or would you be doing worse by trying something else? Because sometimes you might do something that you think is going to be a better option, and you can see my Robinhood account and see exactly, and it turns out worse for the moment. But most of it's because of I'm very bad in trading the crypto. Be honest. The final question that you have to basically weigh out for everything in your journey of improvement, in your just general working in life, and in the time you spend with great folks. And that's where the word financially it doesn't follow, but otherwise is the trick. Is it worth it? Missy Elliott said it best when she asked that question: "Is it worth it?" So you can slap back, trick, and reverse it, but you can also just really focus on what's happening in your life and what's going to happen in your life when you get better at this, whatever this is. If you're playing tennis twice a week and you have to pay tennis fees for your tennis court action, you got to buy rackets and balls and get better shoes every so often. And maybe even you're paying for lessons every so often to get better. That's an investment that's going in there. The dividends you get out of that is you become a better tennis player. You should be better healthy. All those things should come to pass. The question is it worth it? Financially, if you can afford it, then yes. If you can't afford it, then you got to figure out a way to get that health benefit and get that joy of playing tennis without paying so much. Find some public courts. Find a friend who used to be a great player, tennis pro, and have them play with them a few times a week and have them teach you a few things. Get some books and videos that are cheaper, or go do some instruction online that's not a coach. The otherwise part is simple. Are you getting what you're paying for? Is it worth it? Do you feel good about this? Can you keep paying for it? The financial part, once that's cleared, the otherwise is just, does it feel right? Tennis example is one that comes very apt because it takes effort more or less to do that. Unless you live someplace where tennis courts are very, very near, just like going to the gym, just like trying to work out in a place that isn't conducive to walking and things like that. You have to make the effort to go do those things and find ways to do those things. And the hard part is actually breaking the inertia of not doing those things to do those things. Is it worth it to get off the couch? Most likely, yes. Is it worth it to get off the couch and drive 20 minutes to tennis courts? Maybe, maybe not. Is it worth it to get off the couch, drive 20 minutes to tennis court, have your partner not show up, and just waste your time? Well, maybe it is. It might be. The time away may be just that great, even if you're disappointed and stood up on your tennis date. There's there. If you're trying to eat better, it may cost you more to buy fresher things. You may find it will cost you less money to buy actual fresh food, but more time and effort to create those meals, any meal, because you have to actually cut things up and cook things and turn on a stove. Is it worth it? Do you want to get one of the prepared meals and have them so you can microwave them and go? For a great while, I was getting those types of meals and bringing them to work because I was forgetting to go and eat lunch and sometimes breakfast when I was at work. So the excuse of I have to go out and get something got broken away from having it here. The excuse of I don't have time to meal prep, even though I actually love to cook and I actually love meal prep, I didn't have time to meal prep. That was broken down by paying for a prepaid meal that was more or less the same cost of a lunch. The reason why I stopped, well, they started having more convenient ways to find fresher foods here near where I work. So that limitation became something I could do the otherwise. Otherwise, I can go get something that's just as fresh, just as good, and more or less for the same cost that's prepared directly in front of a person, a human this morning, as opposed to somebody a week ago and sent to me in the freezer box. There was that. For the time you spend with people, this gets really, really important. So listen to this really carefully. Every moment you spend with a person is an investment. Even if it's that random stranger inside of the elevator, it's an investment. If you have a conversation with them, you're investing time with them to have that conversation. It may go nowhere. It may just be a quick weather conversation, or they may say something that's going to spark something in your head that would be a big idea. Or maybe it is the elevator pitch time where you're in the room with Elon Musk or the elevator Elon Musk, and you've got 30 seconds to convince him that your great idea is great. That is an engagement. That is an investment. What's a bigger investment and more likely to turn into greater dividends or greater losses, if you will, is the time you purposely spend with other people in other situations. Do you have a friend who's sort of on the down end that you love them, but you just can't spend that much time with them because they bring you down, or they literally they take you out on wild crazy exchanges. You spend all the money that you're trying to save up with. You have to keep an eye on the folks who bring you down, whether it's financially, because it relates to this message here, whether it's physically, whether it's mentally, whether it's socially, whether it's spiritually, because you got to make sure that it's worth it. This is not the time where I'm telling you to break up with all your friends. I never say that. But you may have to limit your time with some folks to be with other folks. Count Me Out. The New Edition song is there. The weird thing about all the early New Edition songs when they were teenagers, it was usually about one guy having a girlfriend, and the other four dudes, are like, "Man, we want to play basketball. Why are you with this girl?" Because it was worth it to be with this girl and to spend more time with her because she's cute, she's hang out. than to play ball with the guys. And so that's pretty simple explanation. You can't be playing ball with the guys all the time if you're trying to, advance with your girl. If you're married, you can't be hanging out with your single friends because they're doing single friend things. And married people don't need to be doing so many single friend things. If you're married, you should know that. If you're single, you'll figure it out pretty quickly once you become a married person and start realizing that your boys can't just show up at your doorstep in the middle of the night and start, jaw jacking because, your wife's asleep or your kids got to get up in the morning. It's this stuff like that. Is it worth it? Is what you're putting into it worth what's coming out of it? There is an investment, there is a dividend, and does it make sense financially or just otherwise? Let's recap. What does it cost? What's the investment you have to put in to get your thing? Or what's the investment that you're missing out if you're not going to get your thing? What is it that's being missed, whether it's financial, whether it's time, whether it's spiritual, whether it's energy? What's the cost to take to put it in for that change you want to do, or just the not change? What are you missing out in investing in because you're not changing what you're doing? What do you get out of it? What does it pay out? The dividend. Why are you doing it? To get something out of it. What is it you want to get out of it? Do you even know? Do you think you know? Are you trying to do more exercising, more working out because you're supposed to get fit? So you're just out there throwing around weights like crazy and not actually working a plan? What is what you're doing giving you back? And what are you expecting to get back? How do you make what you're expecting more like what you're getting if they're not the same? And finally, is it worth it? All that work, all that effort, all that sacrifice. Because to be honest, being better is hard. And being better financially is really hard because it takes a lot of time to focus on things that you don't want to focus on. You want that thing, you just want to go out and get it. You don't want to have to think about how many hours you work to get it. You want to just get it and then just, be done with it. But if you don't have the money, you have to get it on credit. Credit has to be paid off. If you do have the money, you have to spend it, and that money no longer exists in your account. So the dividend from what you're getting back has to be worth what you put out into it for the investment. I bought a lot of gear for these things, and the financial investment. It's not a big, not all that exciting. Trust me, the wife is not so thrilled that I just bought, three pairs of headphones when I already have one pair of headphones in a box in my office and two or three pairs of headphones just lying around that are open, and I only have one head. Oh, by the way, I bought two sets of earbuds to do better for this stuff. Are these worth it? I think the quality of what I'm producing right now is so much better now that I have earbuds in. Headphones were kind of wonky. That's the thing for me, but I believe that this is worth it. And they're not super expensive Taylor Swift brand that are dual drivers for somebody who's going on stage. These are good enough to get this stuff done here in my actual office and in my home office as well. And it improves so much more, and I feel so much better being able to do it just like this. These are worth it. If they were $200, they might not be worth it because, as I said, the financial worth is wonky at best. But the feel goodness, not a real word, about how this thing is going, these are worth it. These headphones here next to me, these headphones are worth it. They're worth the cost of them because they're not super expensive, but they're good enough to get things done. They're affordable enough, and I can get more. I can get three or four pairs of those headphones literally for the price that some of the people at the radio station work there pay for their super duper headphones to just hear themselves talk. And I buy these headphones. I have plenty of those around so I can use them for remotes that we do, and people have their setups and they work just fine. Those are worth it. Financially, they're worth it. If they were all $400 headphones, they would not be. Doing these videos, is it financially worth it? No, because I'm literally giving away for free. But is it worth it otherwise? I get to practice on my videos. If you've followed along my journey, you've known that I am almost 50 years old. And since I was in high school, I've been afraid of videos. And now, because videos are it. I have to do more of it. I'm doing more of it and getting better of it. And this allows me to do this. This is a program I've recycled a few times, and each time I do it, I learn a little extra from it, and it's worth it because I think it's getting better. I think it's getting greater. I think it's working for more people, and whether it's financially viable ever, it probably won't be. That's beside the point. I enjoy what I'm doing. I enjoy what it does for you folks out there. Is what you're doing worth it? The otherwise may be more important than the financial, because sometimes you can get away with something not being so financially responsible if you don't do it too often. But if you're just flat out wasting time, that becomes a thing. And the biggest problem is other people will believe because if it's something that starts to hurt their feelings, that they think you're not doing so great because you're trying to do something different, they're going to tell you you're wasting your time. They're going to tell you you're wasting your time because either you don't need it or you're going to fail. The second one hurts the most because they are putting on you, you're going to fail because they want you to be just as miserable as they are. The first one, you don't need it. Well, that's not their decision. That's your decision. If you need it, go to it. That's it. Take a financial assessment. Work on a financial assessment on you. And you're working on this assessment in the context here of Better You in 52 on the things you're trying to improve on. If you want to get in better shape, what are you going to spend on that journey and is it worth it? If you want to eat better, what are you going to spend on that journey and is it worth it? If you want to plan a trip around the world, what are you going to do to get that thing going and will it be worth it once it's set aside, once everything is in motion? Do you want better relationships with other people? That's not a financial thing necessarily, but you want to go put forward that effort. That is an investment. Is the investment worth it? Is working on that relationship worth trying to improve? Or is now a good time to break away? As I said, I'm never the break up with your life guy, but there are going to be some people that you're going to spend less time with just because if you're doing something else on the other side of town, and they don't go to that side of town, you're not going to be in the same place. I want to real quick show you what we're talking about with the website. That is Better You in 52. And here it is right here. You can see the big blank spot here because we had some coding issues somewhere that didn't update last week. This is week 10, so week 9 should be here in the website so you can see it. What we do every single week is we upload the YouTube video, so you have that to learn from, and you can go through all the weeks. We also have here the resources that are available for you to get yourself some little bit of help and a little bit about the program on the point of the story going on as well. Like we said, these videos live on YouTube. That's basically, if YouTube goes away, we're in trouble. But we put these videos on YouTube and they go live over the weekends and they officially become part of the canon of the website when the website works every Monday morning. So if you're following the website, just check every Monday. We'll have a new video. It should be there. Otherwise, follow us on YouTube as well. We'll put down some information on that somewhere because it's the site for YouTube is it's mixed in with another thing, and I don't think it's named properly. But search for Bear You in 52 on YouTube, and you should be able to find us there as well. We'll put more links so go back to that. It's joint with another project called Steps to a Better You, which isn't that name either. A little too much rambling, a little too much there. All right, now we're going to wrap this thing up. Thank you so much for being a part of us for this journey. Like we said, the moment you said you want to be better, you're better. Congratulations, you done got better. It done got good. Good job on that one. Now, what we need you to do is just stick around, hang out, be with us. Do not, like I said, do not get discouraged. Stop into the website, chat with me in the comments here on the video, and reach out to me on the social media, and we'll be able to chit chat and go back and forth on what we need to do. If you're looking for someone to talk to, I'm here. We are here, and we're working on some tools so we can have more community around Better You in 52 to just be better in general. However, those cost a little money, so and we're not going to ask you for it. So we have to make sure that we have the funds behind it to make it viable and make it work in the first place. With that, I'm going to say thank you so much for being with us as we mark out week 10. Whether you've been with us for 10 weeks since the first week of January or not, we're glad you're here now. That's all that's important. Thank you so much. We will see you around, and we'll see you around doing great things as well. Oh, by the way, I always say, and the coffee's here to say it, stay hydrated, stay limber, stay on task, because they've got a lot more work to do. So we'll see you next week with another video for Better You in 52.